Hello everyone, Lev here from the Tips team. Welcome back to another after-school tech tips support tutorial. In today's video, I will compare two of Google's most popular translation tools, Google Translate and Google Gemini. If you use these tools to translate official documentation from your school or the division, consider contacting your intercultural consultant for additional guidance and support. Before we jump into today's topic, remember to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and be sure to swing by each week for a fresh new after-school tech tip video. If you want to connect with the Tips team and explore the team's technology information, processes, and playlists we offer, be sure to visit us at tips.epsb.ca.
Google Translate has a vast language database. It excels at recognizing and translating text from various languages. It is constantly being refined with new data, which helps it gradually improve its handling of nuances. So for example, in English, the language has an excess of conjunctions to convey information, whereas Slavic languages require fewer to none to communicate the same messages. So with that being said, there are some contextual limitations with Google Translate. Although the tool is improving, it can still struggle with understanding the broader context of a sentence or paragraph, leading to translations that are technically correct, but miss the intended tone or cultural implication, especially in German and Slavic languages that have many complex language and grammatical structures and influences from other countries. With Google Translate, I can translate a single word or a bulk of text into a single language. I'm going to begin by typing a few words into Google Translate, followed by a sentence. So in my text box here, I can type in uncle, and it translates, mom, dad, month, moon, and I'm going to talk about the word aunt for a minute. So in Ukrainian, there are multiple ways that you can say aunt and uncle. So over here, it's translated the word aunt into titka over here. And then if you click on the dictionary here, you'll see that this dictionary pops up to the side here. And then a second option over here, tyotia, shows up. So both are perfectly acceptable terms to use. But there's also another one that is also used that hasn't shown up in this list, which is teta, which is one that I grew up using. So as you can see, it's provided me with the correct translation. You will see other words showing up as suggestions. In some languages, specific words are used in certain contexts. So like when I typed the word aunt in the dictionary, it showed me two different versions, but if I come from a different region of Ukraine, I might not see the one that is represented by my dialect showing up in here. So now I'm going to type a sentence into Google Translate, and we'll see what happens with that. So I wrote on here, Auntie Oksana, please pass the butter. So I look at this sentence. It does look grammatically correct, but if I wanted the opportunity to hear what the translation is, I can simply click this listen button and it'll play.
Тьотя Оксана, передайте, будь ласка, масло.
Now, with that being said, the translation services are not available in every single language, so please make sure you check those out before your students use them. In Google Translate, you will see a tab at the top that lets you enter a URL. So let's click that real quick. So I click on the Websites tab. Now, just so you know, it doesn't work with every single website, but I'm going to start by translating the text on a Broadway musical's website. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my desired languages. So over here it detects that English is my primary language, so that's the one I'm going to pick. But I have a drop-down menu that lets me change that to whatever language I prefer. And then also the language I want it translated to shows up to the side here. Again, 100 different languages to select from. I speak Ukrainian, so that's the language I'm going to translate to. And then I'm just simply going to enter a website that is for a Broadway musical. If I were a student in a drama class or a teacher in a drama class that wanted to showcase this in a different language or to support a student who needed some help with translation with that, I could simply use this tool to help them out. So I'm just going to click on this arrow here. And voila, I have a website that's been translated into Ukrainian. From the different buttons and text, I can scroll down here. Over here it says Date Turu, which means the dates of the tour. Over here, Dublin or Dublin in Ireland it was just recently in, as well as the date that it was playing in. I can also click the home button here. Now let's say that I clicked Ukrainian by accident and I wanted to change it into a different language. All I have to do is simply click the translation button over here for the languages. I can change it into Afrikaans. I can change it into Icelandic, a variety of different languages. Now, let's try an example on Google Translate where the button isn't successful with the Google Translate. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to type in the URL for our TIPS website. So tips.epsb.ca. And you're going to see when it loads up that it hasn't actually translated anything. Not to worry if that happens, and it will. There's another feature that you can tap into. So if you look at the very top of your browser, you're going to see that there are 3 dots, or like we like to call them, the snowmen. All I have to do is click this snowman. I'm going to scroll down to where it says translate, and then it detects English, and then I'm going to click this other snowman here, and I'm going to choose another language. So if I want to make this German, Danish, Croatian, I'll just click Dutch for right now, followed by translate. It'll go through and change the text that shows up on here into Dutch or any other language that you might need. With Google Gemini, you will have to create and enter a specific prompt so it knows what you want to translate and the number of languages you want it translated into. So I have a little text over here that I've just quickly generated. I've entered a prompt in Gemini that says, translate this prompt into this body of text into the following languages. I'm just going to start with one language for now, and then later on I'll show you how the same text can be translated into multiple languages using the same prompt. So with that being said, this prompt is set up for a brand new family who's coming to a school for the first time, whose language may not be English as their primary language. So I've identified the teachers, the programs, elective classes that they may want to register, and I've identified the teachers as Mr. Wormwood and Miss Honey, and those are done with great intention. So with that being said, I'm just going to hit submit. And over here, it translates beautifully the prompt that I had given it from English into Ukrainian. Now, I would like to point out, if you look at the name Miss Honey for the teacher, it translates it literally to Pani Hani, which means Mrs. Honey or Miss Honey. And so it didn't look at the name honey and translate that into the actual food that we eat. So it was able to sort of sift out the differences between the food and the name to make it appropriate in that context. So with that being said, if I wanted to listen to it, I would be able to click on the snowman over here called More, and then I could click the listen button. Now, if I wanted to translate it into multiple languages, I can also do that by just refining the prompt. So I'm going to have the exact same prompt that I used beforehand, but at the very top here, I'm going to say, translate the following text into the following languages: Ukrainian, Spanish, Hebrew, Japanese, and German. And let's see what happens. So as you can see, it's building the translation right before my eyes. Ukrainian was done in seconds, Spanish done in seconds, Hebrew, Japanese, and German.
We hope you found today's after-school tech tip helpful. For more information, please contact the TIPS team or visit tips.epsb.ca. To stay updated on upcoming after-school tech tip videos, subscribe to the channel.